Donald Super is well known in the area of career counseling. In a previous video, we discussed some of Super's other theories, and today we're expanding on that by discussing his life-career rainbow. At the end of the video, we're going to be taking a look at a visual representation of his life-career rainbow that pulls in from some of his other theories as well. So make sure you stick around for that. But first, my name is Keegan. I have a master's degree in counseling and I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor. I make videos like this to help you better understand various concepts in the world of psychology, counseling, and mental health. Keep in mind that engaging with this channel does not constitute a therapist-client relationship. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes. This does not substitute or replace professional mental health care. In the life career rainbow, Super highlights is the various roles that people play throughout their life. Specifically, he identifies 9 life roles: child, student, worker, partner, parent, citizen, homemaker, leisureite, and pensioner. You may have caught the term leisureite, which is not a common word as it's something Super coined himself. In the leisureite role, a person's primary pursuit is for leisure or to have a more idle lifestyle. Super recognized that people can have multiple roles in life at one time. For example, they can be both a partner and a parent, while also being a citizen and a worker. He also recognizes that some people may never have some of the roles, such as how some people will never partner and may be single throughout their life. Super also identifies 4 theaters, which is the areas where a person plays their roles. The 4 theaters he recognizes are home, community, school, and workplace. As I mentioned, these theaters are where people play specific roles. For example, someone will be in the role of a student at school or in the theater that is the school. Or they'll be in the role of a worker in the theater that is the workplace. Sometimes a role will be confined to one theater, and that's the only place that person ever performs that role. For example, some people in the role of a worker may only ever do this in the theater that is their workplace. However, some roles are played in multiple theaters. An example of this could be how a pupil is in the role of a student at school, but then will have to bring homework home and be in the role of a student at home while doing their homework. When a role is played in more than one theater, there's a chance of role conflict. A time where this could happen is if someone only does their role of a worker in the workplace, but then has to bring work home for some reason. By now performing their role of a worker in the theater that is their home, this could create role conflict. Super had some other thoughts about roles as well. Specifically, he believed that roles will have expectations and performance that are tied to them. Expectations for a role can be from the person in that role themselves, but they can also be from other people who are not in that role. Likewise, performance has multiple components. This includes how satisfying the person in the role finds that role to be, and how well they perform while they're in that role. Another aspect of this is how the role transitions over time and how the person in the role manages that. When a role transitions, this is called role shaping. Overall, role shaping can happen for various reasons. One aspect that can shape a role is time. For example, when somebody's in the role of a child, that's going to look very different when they're 5 years old compared to when they're 25 years old, and then again will be very different when they're 45 years old. Those are some different components of Super's life career rainbow. Now let's take a look at a visual representation of this. But first, if you're enjoying this video and finding it helpful, please help me out by giving it a like and subscribing. When the life career rainbow is visualized, along the outer edge of the rainbow is usually where we see Super's career developmental stages, which we talked about in a previous video. I'll put a link for that in the description if you want to check that out. With that then, we see along the outer edge the stages of growth, exploration, establishment, maintenance, and decline. Moving inward on the rainbow, the next layer depicts the person's ages. As we move inward further, we now get to see the various roles a person plays. Let's start at the centermost layer, where we see the role of child depicted. As you see, being a child is the first role to begin, which starts at birth. Roles don't continue forever. So once a person's parents have died, their role as a child is depicted as ending. The next role to begin is that of a student. With this role, we can see how someone may end this role, but pick it up again at a later point in life. This pattern continues. With each additional layer moving out, we see a new role added, such as the roles of leisureite, citizen, worker, spouse, and so on. Remember though, some people may never play some of the roles. Putting all of this together, Super called this the career pattern, as he felt that this would tell the story of a person's career. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you found it helpful. While you're here, make sure that you check out some of the other videos on my channel. Thank you so much for watching.